a family came in, and this kid walks by. He had his dreads, and you're like, we greet him like, "Hey, what's going on?" And the kid didn't respond.
No, I don't remember this guy. You have such a good memory, Mo.
And then you were like, "I fucking hate that shit when people don't say anything when I say it. We're like, what's up to him?" I'm like, "Well, go say what up to him or whatever." So you like kind of walk around behind him. You like, how y'all, everything okay? How y'all doing? And he didn't respond again.
Ooh.
And you're like, "Mo, this is pissing me off." And then you found out that he was deaf. Do you remember?
I do remember that, bro. And that's so funny
You
because
were like, "I feel so fucking terrible."
that is
Corporate life.
No, exactly, man, exactly. We're getting wild today, Mo.
Oh,
Sir.
spicy.
We're gonna
And
go a little,
myself over here drinking like Wendy's lemonade.
a little bourbon and Coke.
Turn up.
Shit. You'd think I'd be celebrating.
What's on the menu for you to be celebrating?
I said you think I would be, but I'm definitely not celebrating.
No.
Nah, man. Fucking Brady.
The goat.
Yeah, yeah.
The goat.
He is that. Anything but a
I
loser.
mean, you can't. I mean, granted, now you. We'll get a little bit more into it, but I mean, it was just all due to that defense.
Yeah,
And
man.
and it's crazy is even with the pressure and the amount of running that Mahomes did, there were drop passes in the end
Yeah.
zone, like that. Like we seen the clips of him being vertical. Like you're I mean not vertical, but you're parallel. You're sitting here parallel with the ground,
Mm,
still throwing it about 20, 30 yards and hitting dudes in the hands and like
right. Yeah. Fucking crazy throws, man.
so
Stuff. I mean, Brady played good though. Like Brady, like he had 3 touchdowns. Like I mean, he
he
didn't.
he managed he once they got the lead, he just managed the game. That's all he needed
Yeah.
to do. He was like, "Look, I know my defense is going, they're going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
They don't have a way to stop them, right?"
Exactly.
It You would have figured that they would have, because they had some success running the ball with Edwards-Helaire, but they didn't continue to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and it hurt them. Like, but I mean, I'd like the first half of the game was pretty good, but the second half got boring.
It
It
did. It
it
really
got
did,
boring.
man. I mean,
It got
going into
boring.
halftime, I was saying like, okay, what was it? I think it was 21-6 or 9. One of the 21-6 going into half, and I was like,
Yeah,
okay, the Chiefs have to come out and score a touchdown here, like to make
have to,
this.
had to.
And they kicked a field goal, and I was like, okay, well, I mean, that doesn't like end the game. Like at least they
Yeah, no, it
scored.
keeps it close. It keeps it close.
Yeah. So then it was what 21-9, and then they just went scoreless the rest of the way, man. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was running for his life, bro.
Whole entire time. Whole entire time.
Brady's
I
the
think
greatest, boys. That
he.
dude.
I mean, it. He is. He.
He is.
He just knows how to win. Shout out to Todd Bowles. Like he had his team ready. They learned a lot in that Week 12 loss.
Yep.
And you think about the run that defense went on. Like
Yep.
you went through Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady.
You mean Patrick Mahomes?
Or sorry, yeah, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
bruh, that run of just being able to go through those three quarterbacks.
Exactly, bro. Like it's not like they had an easy route, even though like that's the easiest Super Bowl Brady's won. Like it was clearly against the best team he's ever played. So it's just like, um,
Yeah,
God, that's such a good team, man. Like you just look at it, and we were saying it before, but just watching that game, just top to bottom, like this is an incredible team. Like just absolutely
yeah.
incredible.
The
You
question
know,
is, do you think they can run it back?
yeah, I think that depends on some of the free agents, and like what's going to happen there. But they obviously have the core and the culture now and like the winning mentality. Does Gronk
Yeah,
come back? Like, do you think Gronk's going to run it back?
I think he will if Brady does. I
Well,
think
Brady's coming
you
back.
know. So I think he will if Brady does. I think Godwin's going to probably be gone and probably go get him some money.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
He's going to be
it'd be
gone.
interesting to see what happens with AB. Even though I think he feels like he probably owes a lot to Brady to where he'll probably stay there.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, I mean they can run. I want to see a rematch. I
Yeah, me
really
too.
do, and I want to see a rematch with the Chiefs and them like at their full capacity with their line with their O line. Like
Exactly.
I think it'll be I think it'll be a different story. Um, or not, I shouldn't say a different story, but I think it'd be a more competitive game to where Mahomes isn't having to run. He ran what was
Like
it? They tracked it
300
at
yards
almost
or something like it.
500
Yeah,
yards. No,
something
like
nuts.
500 yards. He ran just
Yeah, I
scrambling around. Like
think
it's insane.
high 20s. I think it was 27 hurries, which was like the most in Super Bowl history or something like that. He was hurried
It,
constantly. Um, and still whipping these passes to dudes. It was like, bro, if that one that bounced off was it, I don't know what receiver it was, but when it hit him in the helmet in the red zone, that would have been like one of the greatest touchdown throws I've ever
was
seen.
that
When he,
Pringle
I think it was
or was
Pringle.
no was it no? I think it was Damian Williams.
Okay,
It was Damian Williams, but still,
maybe.
like Kelsey dropped a pass for a first down. Tyreek dropped a pass that was in the end zone. Damian
Mhm.
Williams, like these guys, they normally catch these things. I know they were like contested throws, but it's hitting you in the hands or it's hitting you in your helmet. So me in your hands, I think it had they get those linemen, they get those linemen back. I think it. I mean, I don't have no. I don't see it to where like they can't get back to the Super Bowl as far as the Chiefs go.
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, they still got their core. Like, I don't think that's breaking up.
Mm-mm.
Like you said, the line will be back. They need to get some more defensive personnel and figure that out.
So
That's,
we're gonna talk about this, but I we're gonna talk about this a little bit later. But
hmm
I think I know if they get somebody, I think it'll
okay,
help out.
cool. Who is their defensive coordinator? Do you know? I don't know who runs that D, but
Crickets.
yeah, I
let's let's look it up, shall we?
yeah, because I
Let's
don't
look
know
it up.
who's, but I mean, we have been saying that for 2 weeks. Like that D is very suspect, and they have some good personnel. Clark's really good. Matthew's really good. Did you see Tyrann Matthew jawing at Brady? They were going back and forth at one point during the
Yeah,
game.
I did see
That
that.
was wild.
So, oh, Steve Spagnuolo.
Okay.
That's who it
Yeah, I don't
was.
know if it's coverage, and different package issues as far as the coordinators or if it's just the players, but their D is definitely not elite. It's very middle of the road, so
Yeah, they're well. One, I think some of it is the talent, right? Like
hmm
they have um, a couple of decent pieces, but they're not like game breakers. Like the one that you really
yeah.
have as game breakers probably is Matthew.
hmm
But even still, like Frank Clark isn't what he used to be.
No,
He's
he's older.
solid. He'll show up in certain games. Chris Jones is a little bit more. You can count on him a little bit more consistently, but they need help on that line and in that linebacker role. They
For
need help there.
sure. Their
Sorensen is
linebackers
nice.
are
I like
depleted.
Sorensen though. I think Sorensen is
hmm
pretty nice, but they need some help. They definitely need some help.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it looked like the Bucks just marched. Like, like it wasn't like a complete like when the Saints beat the Bucks that second time, like that was a complete, disaster. It didn't look like
Yeah,
that, but it was like they looked like they were scoring at ease. Like it wasn't
I mean
really.
but even that second half of that game in Week 12, they were like
hmm
they came back.
Yeah.
Right? So um, it's not like Bruce Arians and Tom Brady and Brian Leftwich. It's not like they didn't figure it out. They figured it out.
No, exactly. Yeah.
So it's the short passing game. You play action every once in a while, go deep, go up the middle, but it's that short passing game.
Yeah, man. It's just that little. I mean, and Brady still got a bit of an arm, but that game he really just put on display how good their offensive strategy was. Like that first touchdown to Gronk looked pretty scripted. Like they knew they were going to go to there, when they got that close to the red zone. I'm not even a Gronk or Brady fan, but like good for both of them. And it was cool watching Gronk ball. Like I was like, dude, that's crazy. Like you were such a partier already. You retire, you spend a whole year partying, just doing like, anchor stuff. And then he comes back and wins another. I was like, God damn, you're a winner, bro.
Yeah,
Good
but
for you.
I need Gronk to stop dancing on boats, bro. Like I know he a party dude, but he got some of the whitest moves
White boy
for
rhythm.
like. Oh my god, it's terrible, and they be over there hyping him up like, just stop, bro. It's terrible. Like it's terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I did appreciate seeing Tom Brady drunk. I loved
He
it.
was fucked up, bro.
Like getting carried by like the third string quarterback. Like I love that, bro.
Me too.
Love seeing that. Like because you don't see players really like that, especially like somebody with this aura like Tom Brady. You like, oh my God, Tom Brady over here talking about some avocado tequila.
Well, good for him. It's at that point, it's like you can do whatever the fuck you want, bro. Like you're the greatest of all time.
You came,
like
you saw, you conquered.
You can throw those Lombardi trophies from boat to boat. Like you got 6 more. You're not worried about it.
Like when I watched that video, I got so anxious. I'm like,
when he's like
man, oh, that was nervous.
Yeah. And Gronk has a history of fucking with or tampering with the Lombardi trophies. Remember he bunted with the last Patriots trophy and there's a dent in it. Yeah. So clearly he's not very cautious with them. But that looked like a fun party. That was a cool idea, like a boat party.
Yeah, that was. I like the whole idea. That was pretty dope. It'll be cool to kind of see if like other cities start to do something creative like that. But I think it's just you can do that in Tampa because of all the water, and then it's just even Brady was talking about it. He was like this was nice, like to be out in the sun on the water. Like I can do this.
Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure. It's honestly, like as much as like I critique him, like I try to be objective. He's the greatest ever, and like I am happy for him. Like he is the definition, just like a Michael Jordan, a LeBron, a Kobe, whoever came before. Like just nose to the grindstone. Like I'm working my ass off. Like you know, like
working. Like you have to respect the fact that like he enjoys that grind. Like much like how Kobe did, where like he enjoys the grind of just knowing the game, putting in that work and stuff like that. You can really tell that he wants to master the part of being an NFL quarterback. Like he wants to master it, and so you have to appreciate it.
Most definitely. And it's scary because it's like, sure, his physical skills have depleted, not a ton, like he still looks good, but it's like he's so cerebral with it at this point that it's like he just, just like I don't know, same thing as we were talking about these older basketball players and stuff, like LeBron, whose athleticism's worn down. It's like these guys just know the game so much and they're such savants that it's like they know the timing, the spacing, where everything's breaking down,
everything.
It's just
like you look at it like when ESPN started that whole detail series with Kobe, right? And how he would just read, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's how I like literally anytime Brady is at a what's name, I'm literally thinking like this is how he breaks down film or whatever. He goes into those specific details. If ESPN doesn't do a detail with Tom Brady once he once he decides to retire and starts to like.
Exactly, because I know Peyton was doing it, but I don't know if he's still doing it. I'm like, I
but like
that series alone makes me want to get ESPN Plus, bro. Like I really want to, like that's so cool to me. I love that, and it's sad that Kobe's gone now because I know KD did a couple after Kobe passed, and like yeah, respect to you, KD, but like I don't like I would be more hyped to.
It's not Kobe the same because you understand the amount of attention that Kobe put into his game, right? And not to say that Kevin Durant doesn't, because KD's game is very simple and easy, and the way that he approaches the game, I can see how he can break that down. It just doesn't have that same type of pull as like with Kobe doing it.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, like, yeah, because those players like Brady, you were saying, or Peyton or Kobe are like living legends, and KD's obviously going to go down as one of the greatest ever, but he's not at that like status yet. You know, that would have been like in the 90s when MJ retired, or I mean, I guess he retired the late 90s. Like if that was a thing then, and the internet was huge, like if he was doing it, people would be like,
that'd went nuts. That would have been nuts.
I feel like he's too competitive to even like break down. Like he's like, I'm not giving anyone props.
Jordan ain't about to like he'll tell you and he'll tell you off the side, but now he's not about to tell you on camera. No, not him.
No, sir. So I mean, obviously we know Brady. Like he's the GOAT. I mean, where do you stand with? Because I said this before. I thought he was the GOAT after like Ring 5. So I mean, nothing's changed for me. It wasn't going to change even if he lost. But what does that leave with Mahomes? Because you'll hear a lot of the narrative say that door is now closed, and I'm like, I'll just let you go first, and then I'll give you my.
I don't think it's closed, because who's to say that they can't run it back, right? Let's say they run it back next year, and then the Chiefs win. Then they just won in the Super Bowl. So I think Mahomes can still be in that conversation. I think it will help if they're able to run it back, meet up again, and then they beat him. then that will help his cause as, really being considered the greatest of all
You
time.
mean the Bucks
Um,
specifically?
yeah, it has to
Yeah.
be like it has to be Tom Brady on that Bucks team
Yeah,
running
yeah.
it back. Now it may not be that, like I said, they may have a couple pieces here and there that are missing, but as long as that core is there and that core of Kansas City is there, if they run it back and the Chiefs pull it off, then I think that'll help. But Brady's legacy wouldn't have been dented by this if he had that loss. It wouldn't have been dented. It's already solidified and it's there. But Mahomes, I think will be back. He's the reason why I think his contract that he did was signed the way it is, so that way they could have more money to sign and get other players.
Mm-hmm.
So this free agency will be pretty interesting to see what they do to kind of get those other players.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, like I didn't realize this before, but listening to some analysts talk about it, Brady went 9 years after his first three with one before he won number four. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
to say like that door's closed after his, it's his fourth season, but his third season, like actually playing, like I think that's a little ridiculous. I mean, what if he rattles off three in a row? No one's ever done that before. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like that's definitely not close. He's done with not even probably a quarter. Like he's still the next season or two he'll be closing out his first quarter of his career most likely if he stays healthy. So he's
Yeah.
got a lot of time left. Like I don't think. And I don't necessarily think Mahomes needs to get to 7 to be considered the GOAT. Maybe to some people, but I said this to my friend the other day. If he gets 5, he's my GOAT. Like that's just like, assuming he plays the way he's playing still, like, and it's not, reliant on, a stacked team. He'll be my GOAT at 5. So that's, I mean,
Yeah. He has to keep the weaponry around him. And as long as that, if they can get their line back healthy, and then like you said, figure out the defense, but even the way that game went, you're not sitting there blaming like Patrick Mahomes lost in the game.
no, definitely not.
No, he didn't lose in the game. Like he was the reason why they even got the 9 points as it is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So nah, I think he'll be fine. Will he be a guy? I really think the next 3 years, 3 to 4 years, will really kind of determine that. To be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
if he can really and the thing is that what is he 24, 25?
Yeah, 25, I think.
So he
24.
really hasn't hit like his peak,
Yeah,
and he's already
exactly.
doing this stuff, right?
Exactly. I
So
mean,
it'll
you
be
heard him say a year or two ago, he doesn't even know how to read coverages that well yet. You know what I mean? Like he's just balling, just, hike, let's go. Like, so I don't know. Um, yeah, we'll see. It's definitely really made it more clear that Brady's the GOAT, and it made it that much harder for him to get there. But I just don't think anyone can prematurely say like that door is forever closed. I'm just a
no.
huge I push back on that when people do that with any sport. Just like this dude's the GOAT and it's forever. It's like nothing's forever,
You
bro.
never
Nothing's
forever, yeah.
forever.
But I
Like,
mean, it'll be hard. It'll be hard.
oh, of course, yeah.
It'll
I
be
mean,
hard.
Brady has built quite the resume. So good luck,
Yeah.
Pat. We'll see. We'll see what you do. I will say this though, I'm not as worried about the offensive supporting cast simply because I think they figured the formula out, Mo. Like I think whether players get traded, go to another team in free agency, or retire, they know that they need an athletic tight end and just speed receivers. That is his formula. That's what he needs. Like it's like so you don't have to like Tyreek's on a different level, but like you can get players that are very average that are just little speed receivers, and that's what he just go routes and that's I think that's the
Listen,
formula.
you get like there's players coming out of that's going to be in the draft now that may be able to kind of match that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like even though Scotty Miller said that he could beat like Tyreek Hill in a 100-yard dash, we know that probably not to be true, but their skill set is similar.
Yeah, like
Like
Mahomes
you
would
really
love
you have
playing
to
with
help.
him.
Right. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or you think about like a Henry Ruggs that ran like a
Mm-hmm.
four. Did he run like a 4.4 or
Something
4.3 last
crazy.
year in the 40?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got Devontae Smith coming out. You got Jalen Waddle. You have what is it? Jamar Chase coming out. Like
Mm-hmm.
these kids can go. So they'll be fine. Like you
Yeah.
said, they figured out the formula of what he needs around him. They just need to make sure that the line is good, and the thing is that like we said, the Chiefs defense isn't even all that great. It's
Mm-hmm.
below. It's a bit below average at
Yeah,
best, and they
yeah,
still won. So
yeah, most definitely. I think they'll be around.
for sure,
We'll see. We'll see.
for sure,
A lot of other news though, bro, as far as
man,
like, players maybe moving, maybe
man.
not. We can either get into the speculative players that are moving or the players that are for sure going to be free agents. Is there any names that you want to throw out there to start
Well, I
this
think let's just
conversation?
start with what we know for sure. What I mean, the news broke today about JJ Watt, right? I feel like
Yeah.
that's just a top news, like, which I don't think that was surprising, to be honest. He
Yeah.
wants to compete for a championship. You know, it's not going to happen in Houston. Um, I think he would be a great fit with the Chiefs.
Wow. That's a good point, man.
Like he
That,
gives them, and you pair him up with Jones, like that's a pretty good defensive line.
yeah, man. I mean, wow, I didn't think about that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I love JJ as a player. Like he's a class act person. I've been very skeptical over the last year or two just because of all the injuries. Like not of his talent at all, but just like,
Yeah,
the injuries. But if he could stay healthy and he could get there for sure. I don't know how their salary cap looks going into this offseason, but who knows, man? Yeah, that would be awesome. And his leadership alone on that defensive line, would
well,
really, yeah.
yeah, and so outside of the Chiefs, the other place I think that he could go would be, which I think would be a cool thing, with him to go back home and go play for the Packers,
That would be sweet. Most definitely. I
like
would like,
him with
yeah.
Zendarius Smith and Rashawn Gary, and just like
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
would be nice.
most definitely. They I a lot of people around here are very like fuck the Packers, because we're from Detroit, so everyone in the
Right.
NFC East, we don't. But I don't have an issue with Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a great player, and like I feel bad for him as far as like just the organization making stupid moves, like not drafting a skill player or a good, something
Yeah,
for him
screw
this
him over.
offseason. So I do want that for him because I just like seeing great players given the opportunity to, thrive. So
Yeah.
that would be awesome for sure. And
Yeah.
like we said, he's released, so he's not being traded. So I would assume any bullshit team is off the board. Like he's going somewhere
Yeah,
that he's
like
like,
it has to be a team that's going to be competitive. That's why I said those two. I think it may. I'm not sure where it may lean, but I'm thinking it probably may lean more to the Chiefs because I think they may have a little bit more salary cap. But I think either one of those moves though would be like, if I'm JJ, I'm on the phone with either one of those teams, or have my agent get on the phone with those teams. Like, let's look. We need to make this happen, bro.
yeah, most definitely,
Because
man.
he has to, like, I think he may have another like 2 to 3 years at best, and you need to capitalize it.
Exactly. Stay healthy and yeah, just you're right. I don't know how old he is, but just I know he's on the back end for sure, and then those injuries
Yeah,
probably take some life out of you. So he's definitely winding down here.
yeah,
So, but he'd
he
be a great
is.
fit anywhere as far as just leadership alone. So yeah, I would like either of those. It would definitely help the Chiefs, who you know need something defensively. So who knows? There's a lot of other free agents. So there is Dak. I assume the Cowboys are going to re-sign Dak. I don't know if they're allowed to franchise tag him again or if they actually have to sign him to a mega deal. Like I don't know how that works. Um,
Yeah,
but from all indications, he's going back to the Cowboys. I don't think anyone would argue with that. Chris
yeah,
Godwin is interesting though, bro, because I was
it
looking at
is.
his stats today. Yeah, like he didn't break 900 yards this year. Like he, was very, and it makes sense. They just had a
They
plethora
had a
of
they had
offensive
a shit ton
weapons.
of,
Like
yeah, yeah,
there's only one ball, and if I'm him, I'm getting out of there. Like you got a ring, bro. Like go show everyone what you can do. And I think people have almost forgot. Like, dude, Pro Football Focus had him in like the top 5 last offseason as far as receivers. Like that dude's a baller.
yeah. I don't think so. Yeah, I think it's just the fact he got caught up in a situation where the talent among him was superior. Like they're all superior. You got Evans, you got Antonio Brown, you got Grunt, you got Brait, you got Ronald Jones, you got Leonard Fournette. Like all of them have to touch the ball. So, so where would you want to? Where do you think he may go?
The report I saw and where I would like would be the Patriots. They do need, I don't know what their quarterback situation even looks like right now, but regardless of who they end up getting, under center, they need a skill player, man. They have went a long time now just thinking like, all right, like our quarterback's just going to drag a lousy offense and our defense is going to get us good field position, like whatever they're thinking. Bro, it's not the case, man. Like you guys need to get a skilled player for them to move the chains. Like it's that simple. Like figure it out, man. They have a lot of cap space. Go sign Chris
Yeah.
Godwin, man. Like that's all I can really tell you. Do you see him going anywhere else?
I don't know if they have the money,
Mm-hmm.
but the Ravens.
Ooh, they do need a receiver.
They need like Hollywood Brown is not it.
No,
Like he'd
he'd be a
probably
good
be a good
secondary or
second
slot. Yeah,
second, third option, but not but Godwin with Lamar in that like that run game and just like
yeah. I
that would
like
be
that.
sick.
I agree, man. That would be cool. Yeah, I don't know how they look salary cap wise either, but like you just said, like this reliance that they have on Hollywood is not like he's a good slot receiver, but he's
Yeah.
definitely not a number one. And then who is their tight end? Andrews, is that his name?
Yeah.
I like him,
Yep.
but again,
Mark Andrews, I think it is.
you need a bona fide number one receiver that teams are
You have
looking
to.
at.
And I think if you put Godwin in there, I think he can do it, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
not like Pro Football Focus is off about their rating. It just they put so much talent in Tampa Bay. But if you put him in that scheme with with Lamar and it like
Mm-hmm.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. That'd be cool. And then we've also got, as far as receivers, I think Allen Robinson's a free agent, so that'll be interesting because he balled out this year. If I were him, I'd get the hell out of Chicago. I wouldn't want anything to do with that situation.
W- Well, so it depends on if Chicago could pull something off.
Quarterback wise,
Yes, like if they can pull off getting like Wentz, I would stay.
okay.
Right. So there's been rumors that it's between Chicago, like right now, Chicago and what in Indy are the top runner are in the top contention as far as Wentz, but I think the Eagles are like, no, you got to give us like something, like we need more, right? And I think what it is they're trying to compare what Detroit got for Stafford, um, but I think the Eagles also need to realize that like Wentz isn't coming off the greatest season either. Like he got benched
Yeah.
for Jalen Hurts.
I was gonna ask you, like, just in serious, like, where is Wentz? Like, is he a scrub? Is he a bust? Was he failed by a system and riddled with injuries? Like, what's your evaluation of Wentz after this
I
season?
don't think he's a scrub or a bust. Um, I think he just needs a restart.
Okay.
I think because you think about he led that team last year to the playoffs that like they led the league in drop passes, the amount of injuries that they had last year, and he led them to the playoffs what at a record of 8-8, I think it was,
Okay.
or 9-7, one of the two. So it's not like he can't do those things. But I think he just needs a restart.
Yeah,
So
maybe a
yeah.
resurgence. The only, and I agree with you because from like before their Super Bowl year, I don't remember if that was 18. I think that was 2018 when they beat the
Mm-hmm.
Patriots. I felt bad for him, man. The dude was on like a MVP level. Like, he looked like he was going to win the MVP. Granted the team was stacked, but he looked good. He was balling. And he got injured. That's unfortunate. I feel really bad for him, and Foles took over and won that Super Bowl. But
Yeah.
the thing that hangs me up about it is I think about how I saw him this year, and I'm like, I cannot consider him a tier 1 or 2 quarterback because I just can't
No.
see. Like, I look at Stafford, who I considered a tier 2 quarterback. And he's played for the Lions his whole career. He's never had a team as stacked as the Eagles had it, and he's never looked as bad as Wentz looked this year. Like, I've never, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes sense, but
No,
he looked
because
bad.
he had trouble with reading coverages, making quick decisions, and just he's holding the ball for too long. Like you literally can look at when the games came with Jalen Hurts and just how quickly he was making decisions and getting the ball out of his hands, just making the right football decision. Hurts or Wentz was struggling with that.
Yeah,
this year, and you're like, why are you like? You shouldn't be struggling with these things. You're in what a year is he in? Year 4, year 5, year
something
4, I
like that.
believe.
Yeah.
So it's like you gotta at this point, these things shouldn't be something that you're struggling with. Now, granted, like they weren't that talented, um, as far as from a receiver standpoint. Um, but come on, bro.
Yeah, they were depleted, but even the players that were injured or old, like Deshaun Jackson's old as shit. Alshon Jeffrey's getting up there. That's not. It's just what it is, man. I'm not saying it like they're
Yeah,
scrubs. I like both of them, but it's it's
yeah,
So if he did stay there, or no matter what happens at quarterback in Philly, they do got to figure out a lot of
yeah.
skill position things as well, because it's not like it was a couple years ago. Man, the team is
No. So where
stacked
do you
up.
want to see Allen Robinson? So if he doesn't stay in Chicago, right? Like you're saying, where do you want to see? Where would you want to see him?
Shit, I don't know, man. Like we just said, a team that needs a skill position. The Patriots, Philly. He's one of those players where it's like I could see him going anywhere. I don't know his personality. I don't know if he's like, I'm in championship mode. It is, it's only about winning, or is he trying to get his paper, which if that's what you want to do, man, too. Like no judgment. Do what you need to do for your personal, financing or legacy, whether it's a financial decision or a legacy decision. I don't know. I don't really know much about Allen Robinson. I do know he's a great receiver. Like, I'd probably put him top 15 in the league. So not
Yeah.
like, probably not top 10, but probably between that 10 and 15 area. So he'd be a good addition anywhere. But I don't know. Just yeah, it's really up in the air to me. There's no team I look at and I'm like, wow, Allen Robinson is their guy. So I don't know if there's one you're looking at, but
Yeah, I mean, I thought about Baltimore again.
yeah,
Um, I think that'd be a good matchup, and I think it became prevalent um the departure of Stephon Diggs of Minnesota.
yup,
Now, granted, would the Bears trade him to Minnesota? Probably not, but I think that would really help out there. Like they need that.
they need to figure out a quarterback. You're like, I don't understand what's going on over there, but someone told me that like Indy or someone else is looking at Kirk Cousins. Like, I heard that that's not like who they're thinking is their quarterback of the future, which is crazy. Like, they gave him a lot of money, so it'll be very
Kirk
interesting to
Cousins
see how
isn't
that.
really all that good for him to be making that much
No,
money. Let's just be honest. But I
no.
think if you give them if they get Allen Robinson, like I think that'll really help out.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of weapons, man, with him and Thielen and the emergence of Justin Jefferson, man. Like, that's a good
The
that's one of
trio.
those situations of like, how would you get all them the ball? Like, that's,
Brady figured it out.
he did. He definitely did, man. He spread that shit around. What about these players that we're hearing that like we don't know? They're not free agents, but like, well, obviously Deshaun. And then recently Russ. Like, I don't know if it's like there's trade. Like, I've heard, and I didn't expect it out of anywhere, but like they're saying he's unhappy with the decisions that the organization's made, and he's not getting any protection, which is very true. Like, I
Hasn't
agree
got
with
his
him.
almost his whole entire career.
Yeah, he's been running for dear life for a long time, man. And this year on the other side of the ball, even though they had some good personnel like Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams, is that his name? Jamal Adams from the
Yep.
Jets.
Hmm.
They still were trash on defense, like absolute garbage. Like,
And I
just,
think if I'm not mistaken, don't they still have Ziggy Ansah?
ooh, they might. Yeah,
I think they still got
Ziggy.
Ansah, but like they can't get any pressure on the quarterback, and like all you got to do is just throw the ball to the other side of the field that Jamal Adams isn't on.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
man.
that's
I don't
all
know
you
if
got
it's
to
a
do.
scheming
Like
thing or what, but yeah, they are not good on D. Not at
no,
all.
I don't think Russ is going to go anywhere. I think he'll be there. I just think that they have to figure out to get that. They have to get that line figured out, and they have to get a running back.
Hmm.
Like, cause what is it? Parsons?
Yeah.
Is that their court? Like, that's not the
Their running
answer.
back,
That's not.
Carson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Carson. Sorry.
Yeah. What's
Yeah,
his
that's Chris Carson or something like
Chris
that. Yeah,
Carson.
that's it's not the answer.
Okay.
That's not the answer there. So they got to figure it out.
Yeah. I think O-line is the number one. But with all this being
Yeah.
said, and it doesn't make any sense, but I'm just gonna throw it out there just to speak it into existence. Russ or Deshaun, come to New Orleans, bro. I need you so bad. If either if either of them, I would shit my pants. I would scream. I would cry. Like, I am so scared for what this year brings for me as a Saints fan. Like, I don't even see them going 500. So, like, if
Why?
dude, they're $100 million or something like that in salary cap deficit right now. They have so many free agents that they're about to lose. Like, it's not looking good, Mo. I don't think people that aren't Saints fans realize this, but like, we're about to see a plummet in New
You'll be fine.
Orleans.
I think they'll be fine. They'll be fine. And I think like everybody's talking about these quarterback situations. You like he's you have a quarterback there. Is whether or not you want to use him. And I'm not talking about Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the other dude's name either, but I swear to fucking God,
You put some respect on Jameis' name.
dude.
But like people really think that like Jameis is this trash quarterback. He's not that bad, bro.
No, he has a good arm. I just don't trust his decision making.
But you don't think that Sean Payton and a year under Sean Payton and a year at just kind of watching Drew Brees that hasn't helped him?
Maybe, man, but I really want Russell Wilson. Please.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would take Russ over. Like, Russ, if you ever want to come to Detroit, bro, like, let me know.
Oh, God. Like, it just scares me, man. Like, he's just, again, like, I get everything you just said, but it's just so scary. I have no idea what I'm going to get from that dude. One day he's playing good in college. The next day he's stealing crabs out of a supermarket and fucking getting arrested, bro. Like,
y'all not gonna let that live. Y'all not gonna let that just go ahead and just die out.
Eating W's. Did you see that clip of him, like his eat a W take where he was trying to hype up his team? You didn't see that?
Listen,
I meant to send you that. Dude.
No, I don't want to see it because I saw it and it's just stupid. Like, bro.
Just the whole huddle's looking at him. No one's cheering. They're like, bro,
like,
what
are you doing, bro? Like, what?
Yeah, okay. He's not my answer. So, but what I was gonna say is, if the Saints make a quarterback move for someone that's got a huge contract and it's not one of those two, like it's someone like fucking Kirk Cousins or someone else with a huge, I'm gonna be so upset. Like, if we're gonna make a move for quarterback, let's go all out. Like, do some salary cap wizardry, Mickey Loomis, please. Like, figure it out. And let's go after Russ, or because I just think the Saints have the pull to be like, hey, you wanna play under Sean Payton? Like, you see what we've got over here. Like, we've had a limited Drew. Let's be honest, Drew's kind of held us back the last couple of years, not as far as leadership, but arm talent.
Him and the refs.
Yeah, that 1 year, man. We don't talk about that on this podcast.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Oh God, man. But yeah, I don't know. I agree. I don't think Russ is going anywhere. Deshaun's another story though, bro. Like, he's got to be out of there. I don't know where he's going.
Yeah, but they've told teams because they said a bunch of teams have reached out, and Houston's like, "What you calling us for? Like, what do you want?
That's
we want
insane.
Deshaun to do what?
Yeah.
Like, what do you want to? We're good over here. We're good.
Well, I mean, how much do you think that the Stafford trade just influenced what the market would be for someone like him? Because I value Deshaun as more valuable than Stafford.
I mean, Deshaun's, I would say, easily a top 5 quarterback.
Okay. I'm not arguing.
And I mean, especially after the numbers he put up this year, right? Yeah. Like, they're comparable to Aaron Rodgers, Mahomes. What's the kid's name out of Buffalo? Why am I drawing such a blank?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. Like, his numbers were comparable, if not better, than some of theirs. And he didn't have the same weaponry. He took away his number one option.
Yeah. God, he's a really good player, man. I mean, and that's funny too regarding JJ Watt. Like, I never thought of it before, but the writing was kind of on the wall when he was saying stuff to Deshaun, like, I'm sorry, we just wasted a year of your prime. Like, that just shows how upset that he probably is with the organization. So, I mean,
yeah,
we also have 2 players on the Bucks on the defensive end. I know we already talked about Chris Godwin, but Shaq Barrett and Levante David. Now, Levante David's pretty old, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with him. I've heard analysts, including Shannon Sharp, say they do not think Shaq Barrett will resign there because he's going to be commanding a lot of money now, because I think he was still on his rookie deal, and that dude's a stud. So I don't know what's going to go on there. It'll be interesting. I mean, if I was either of them, I'd want to resign there. In fact, I'd probably take less money to resign there to try to win another ring.
He
But
can't be
that's
still on his rookie contract. He's been there for 7 years.
has he
He's
really? I
been
thought he was younger than that.
he is about 7. Yeah, there's no
Okay.
way he could.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's had to sign the what's the name. But after the performance he's had, though, that
Regardless, yeah,
I'll
he's
be
gonna be commanding max money. So
yeah, he's definitely gonna. So I'm not sure where he will go.
hmm
Um, I'll welcome him to Detroit with open arms.
I mean, it could happen though, because you think about players like that, you never know if it's like I won my ring and now I want my bread
I want
and
my bread.
I'll just ball out
Like it's time for
wherever.
me to max out on this money.
Yep.
But I mean, he let's say he doesn't. Um, but I mean, he could also probably go to a situation where a team where they have a ton of cap space, they got draft picks, and they just have they have some questions, but it could potentially work out as it go over to the Jets, and then you get with Mo Salah, or Rob Salah, I think Robert Salah, and that was a defensive coordinator for the Niners when they just went to the Super Bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I mean. It could be a good pairing with him being there, so. I could see him probably going to the Jets and getting his money and still, competing for maybe like Defensive Player of the Year or something like that.
Yeah, he could most definitely, bro. And then Levante David's old, and they do have Devin White, who's a young beast. That dude, I mean, he's the best linebacker in the league, if you ask me.
Monster.
So good in coverage, bro. Like that's something that people
You said
underrate.
he's the best linebacker?
I think so because of his coverage ability, man. I've like people underrate when they think of a linebacker. They think of like and love him to death, but people like Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis, these big, huge dudes that are clogging up the lanes, getting sacks, stopping runs, which is Devin White, excuse me, can do that. But his coverage skill is so good, man. As a linebacker, it's insane. The dude flies all over the field. It's fun to watch.
I don't know if I can give him the best. I think there's some like he. Don't get me wrong, he's nice. Like he's
Top
really
five?
nice, but I easily,
Okay.
easily. But I think there's a couple of dudes in Pittsburgh that may have something to say about that.
Yeah. Pittsburgh, yeah.
Like
God, dude,
Bud Dupree, Devin Bush.
Mm-hmm.
They may have something to say about that.
Yeah. But God, he's good.
Devin's nice though. Like,
but yeah, with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if Levante David somewhere else next year. But I mean, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, he is older, so it's like, would he just sign for more of a minimum price just to try to win another ring? No,
not after the performance he's had. Maybe, but I don't. I think he'll probably try to charge him. But I think there's other players that they probably will be like, look, the best that you're gonna get is a minimum because we have this person to sign, and if you want to run this back and win another championship, then you got to make a sacrifice. So I think those type of conversations are going to be had.
If you're the Bucks, what are you looking at as far? I'm sure they have the last pick in the first round unless a trade dictates otherwise. But like, who
is be the Chiefs that have their last pick?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because they had the best record.
So, I mean, I'm sure you're looking at end of the first round. What are the Bucks looking at? Like, what are you trying to get better at? They're so good. Like, I don't know what.
I think you have to start. I think you still kind of find some replacements on the defensive line. Sue's old. So I think you can get some. You can still get some pieces there. And then also still get some secondary help. I don't think that like Antoine Winfield is nice, but I still think you can get some secondary help. And I mean, if they lose Godwin, they're gonna need some receivers still too. Like Antonio Brown is old, Gronk is old, so they can still use some of those skilled players as well.
What if they drafted a quarterback?
I mean, it wouldn't make sense.
You don't think so?
I don't think they'd do it in the first round.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't think they'll do it in the first round unless
Brady's old.
I don't know if they do it in the first round unless it's like Mac Jones falls into their lap. Yeah. And they're like, okay, we can't pass up on this kid, right? Mm-hmm. Like he was the AP Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So we can't pass up on that talent. And then I think because if he can get under Brady and Brady grooms him, they may have something there for a while.
So I'm going to give you my way too early power ranking top 5 teams going into next season.
All right. I need to get my pen ready.
My top 4 are virtually the same as what they are now because I don't see them going anywhere. So I've got the Chiefs, the Bucks, the Packers, and the
Mhm.
Bills as my top
Mhm.
four. And at number 5, I have the LA Rams as the 5th best team with the new quarterback that's way more skilled than Jared Goff. You heard it here, the Stafford hater. I'm telling you, they're going to be a good team this year. I'm feeling it.
I don't. I actually. I like it. Um, I may change. The only change that I may have, and a lot of this is going to be the. I know. If I'm looking at it right now, I think you're good with where you're at with that
Mm-hmm.
5. But if certain moves are made, there's 2 teams that I could see moving up.
Okay,
One
let's
being the
hear it.
Ravens,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then the other one, which I think people are kind of sleeping on a little bit, but the Browns. And you're
Whoa.
like, Mo, like, come on, but like, there's this guy. He's number 13. Don't know if you know him. His initials are OBJ. He's coming back. So now, will he stay in Cleveland? Who knows? But if he's on that field, that makes them more dynamic.
Definitely does. And that's what's weird is there's rumors right now that he wants to go to the Bucks, and it's like, bro.
Listen, he cannot go to the Bucks, bro. That's like, don't the NFL have something like the NBA did where they block that Chris Paul trade? Like they would
That's
have to block that,
ridiculous.
bro.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. I don't know how much that would actually make. I mean, football is kind of a sport where that. I mean, I don't know. It wouldn't make much of a difference to me. Again, there's only one ball. Like, I mean, what? I don't know.
But you
That
have
just.
a game breaker, like, and the thing is, you can put Odell anywhere,
Oh yeah, in the
and
slot,
he's
punt,
dangerous in the
punt
slot.
return.
Like, come on, that's not fair.
He
Imagine
can
if he
run
went to
those
the
jet
Rams, though.
sweeps in the backfield, run the ball 30 yards, bro.
Imagine if
Like
he went
that's.
to the Rams with Stafford.
Whoa, Mo, that's hot right
Oh
there.
my God,
That would be if LBJ went to the Rams, I might put them in the NFC Championship game. Like that's my
dog,
like yeah, like that's
dog. And
wow.
the thing is, I don't know if I messaged you about it on Facebook, but like, Matt, like Stafford has players texting him about wanting to come
Yeah,
with him to LA. Like Marvin
yeah.
Jones has texted him. Um, I forget who else. It was one of his older receivers. I think Golden Tate may have texted him. Like
Hmm.
he's already has these old players that he's with. Like, bro, I need to come. I'm gonna
Yeah.
come with you.
No, exactly. It's an attractive destination right now, to say the least. I would give them a top 5 all around defense and a top 5 offensive line. So, and now with Stafford, 2 pretty good receivers, a decent running back. I mean, it's yeah. I could see them pulling off some Tampa Bay type stuff as far as like a player getting released or
Yeah.
signing for the minimum as far as a running back or receiver just to play there. I mean, it's a very
Hmm.
and it's in LA. Like it's in LA. Like what?
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
so.
Exactly.
There, watch them, man. Like again, I've never been really high on Stafford, but they look really good as far as on
They
paper.
on paper they do, yeah. I mean, and the thing is that we've seen the defense. That's
Hmm.
the question is not the defense; it's what Matt Stafford looks like in that offense.
Yeah, most definitely. Can I ask you a question? What do you think the Titans need to take the next step? Because I'm a huge Titans fan, and they've disappointed me the last 2 years in the playoffs. Like, what do they need?
I think they need another receiver. I think that will help. Um, and I don't know if Tannehill is the answer.
That's what I was gonna say, man. He's a good game manager, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. But like to get over the hump, I think they need a more electrifying,
Yeah,
skilled quarterback. Because their D
and
is all right.
they need um they need Clowney to produce.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's no reason not to. The physical attributes on that dude. I mean, yeah, I'm just a big fan of them. Like I'm on the record saying I think AJ Brown's going to be an absolute superstar in this league. Derrick
Mm-hmm.
Henry's not even like he's unanimously considered a top 3 or 2 running back in the league. Uh a solid offensive line. Like I think it's Tannehill, man. And I don't know what his contract looks like right now and what the situation is over there, but if I'm them, I'm really looking for something like that. Like, can you imagine if
Yeah.
they got like fucking Deshaun or someone like that? That would be they'd be one to mess with.
Insane.
Yep.
Insane, bro. It would be insane. Yeah, I like the Titans as well. And what I love about Mike Vrabel is he knows what his team has and what's the best way for him to win. Like he's not looking like, look, bro, we're not a team that's going to be throwing the ball 40, 50 times a game. That's not us. We're going to
Exactly.
run the ball. You know what I mean? We know what we have, and this is what we do best, and he sticks to it. And so I appreciate that about him. But I think they just a bit of an upgrade at the quarterback, and I think it could be a bit better on the defensive end. Like
Yeah,
Clowney has to start producing, bro.
he
He
does.
has to.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a type of football that I feel like the league has gone away from, but is so successful, especially when you have such a good offensive line and a good running
Hmm.
back like that. Like you pound the ball like that and it just opens up everything offensively. I mean, when you're seeing that Tannehill's able to be pretty successful with this, like just imagine if
Yep.
they had a really good quarterback in there, man. Like it would,
Yeah.
and when they're able to be shut down on the run game like they were against the Ravens, like you could switch to, you could start throwing the ball more. So it's like,
Yep.
it seemed like when they
Yeah.
stalled Henry, it was like it's over. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
no other gear. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I hope they improve as well.
Yeah.
Um,
I think they're in that cusp of like I would probably put them at about maybe like an 8. If
yeah,
you're going like all the way to 10, I would probably put them at like 8 or so.
yeah, I'd agree. They're a top 10 team. The Browns is interesting though. That's a good point, man. Because like I hear everything you say, and as far as they made it this year, I think they surprised everyone. Like they played great as a team. They have a great offensive line, like easily, I think a top 3 offensive line, an
Top offensive
amazing.
line, defensive line. You got Denzel
Oh
Ward, like you got Garrett.
yeah,
Like
man,
that's a nice team.
it is.
That it really is a nice team.
And Nick
You
Chubb,
want
bro.
beast like they're Kareem Hunt. Like they are nice, right? And if they can figure it out with Odell just takes the top off on them, right? Like
Mm,
he's a game breaker. So if they can figure it out with him, and I think they can maybe add a little bit more with their linebackers. But if Baker can continue to take that next step with Odell and just still be able to produce with Chubb and with Hunt, like they're not.
they are,
That's a
man.
team that that division. Jesus.
Yeah, for sure, man. Such a defensive minded division, bro. Like
Yeah.
the Steelers and the Ravens are just always perennially, such a great defensive organization, both of them. Then it's who's the other one? Cincinnati? Is that their fourth team? Yeah.
Cincinnati. I mean, you got Burrow, like,
Yeah.
which I think they're going to start to come along a little bit too. So I know that I don't know if his name has been out there, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with AJ Green too.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if he goes to like the Patriots, or not, maybe like the Patriots, or he goes to the Bucks.
Yeah, to see like maybe a resurgence or something like that because he's not
Man,
had.
you
I
think
mean, I used
about
to love
him
him.
and Mike Evans on both ends, like,
Hmm. Yeah, that would be wild, bro. That would be, and you probably get him for the minimum right now. Like the dude's
oh yeah,
not.
easily.
So
But just
that's not
imagine
a
how motivated he would be.
yeah. Wow. That like honestly right there in the Bucks, that might be a good spot for him to line up on the other side of Mike Evans, have Antonio in your slot. Like you said, motivated, a little older, but yeah, he probably signed for very little. That'd be a good move. I forgot
Yeah,
that dude, man. That dude's
yeah,
he used to be a beast though. So
he did.
who
He
knows?
did.
Who knows, man? It's just gonna be interesting to see how stuff plays out next year. It's
It's,
fascinating, man. Just every year with these new stud rookies that come in, and I'm always like, what's gonna happen, man? Like I'm excited to see
yeah,
Burrow come back again. Hopefully better than ever. Baker's an interesting one as far as the Browns. I think they go as far as he goes though, because like he they didn't rely on him this year, bro. They had such a good running game that they relied on the running game and their D to do what they did and give them good field position. Can he continue to improve and make them a dynamic passing team to really make them take that next step?
yep. Like that's the point. Like if he can continue to evolve, improve his ability to read defenses, If he can do that, and like I said, if they can figure out ways to include Odell and really kind of capitalize on his skill set
Mm-hmm.
and still be able to get still get your run game with Chubb and still get your run game with Hunt. You still get Landry in there, you know what I mean, with the right receiver pass. Is like you can still kind of put those things in there. That team is the level of talent that they have.
Yeah.
Who's their tight end? Njoku?
Yeah.
Like
Njoku.
that team is super talented.
Very athletic. Very
Just
good.
crazy.
Yeah.
Got Denzel Ward, got Miles Garrett. Like that's a dog ass team.
It is, man.
They can
It
take
really
that next
is.
step. They're gonna be nasty next year.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, bro. It's just I always am like skeptical. It's like it's the Browns, but like
It's the
yeah,
Browns, right?
yeah, I don't know. Do you play fantasy football?
I do not play fantasy. I have in the past, but I haven't in the last couple of years.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting to me because these new rookies are coming in. I'm just thinking like, who are my prospects this year? Reigning champion in my league. Let me shout myself out real quick. Got that
Hey.
$600 pot this year.
I think the
So
most because I played for like 4 years straight and I won twice. The most that I won was about like I think maybe like $500.
hell yeah, Mo. Yeah.
So
But yeah, I'm always looking. I'm like, what's next for Team Weezy F baby? Shout out Lil
I
Wayne.
can't. I can't. I
And you
can't.
know, my team picture is him playing the guitar. I don't know if you've seen that video of him on stage when he thinks he could play guitar, and it's fucking horrible.
Wasn't it?
But
Wasn't it? Wasn't it?
but shout out
But
to
then you
Lil
gonna shout
Wayne.
him out.
Shout out to Lil Wayne, bro. Top 10 rappers of all time, bro. That dude is just
I give him that. I give him that.
he's interesting, bro. Him and Eminem are so unique to me. They remind me of each other. Like they're the black and white version of each other. They are just constantly in the studio putting out music. Like it's just like a passion that they have. It's not even about like radio hits or it's just like no, I rap. That's what I do. Like
Yeah.
that's my life. And I
Yeah.
really respect that, man. I had to ask you something though, and this was kind of like not even on the agenda or anything like that, but I don't know if you saw. So every year, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, they do like 12, maybe a dozen, 10 to a dozen nominations every year. And I'm looking at the nominations the other day. My stepdad sent it to me, and it's fucking. I just don't agree with this, man. Like Jay-Z and LL Cool J are in the nominations for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and it's like, boys, like I love you, but like, why the fuck are we like? Why are rappers going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Like, did you hear about this? Like, that's very interesting to me. It bothers me. It's like we should have a separate either a music Hall of Fame or a hip hop rap Hall of Fame, but they shouldn't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Tupac got in a couple years ago, and I'm a big Pac fan, but I was like, what the fuck is this, bro? That doesn't make any bit of sense. Like, where, where?
But so you think about it though. There's plenty of people that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that aren't rock and roll, right? You got blues individuals, you got R&B individuals. So
Yeah, I guess just
it's
blues
just
is a direct
I think that
influence.
I think people say it as and they see that the rock and roll or whatever, but
Mhm.
it really is just a music hall of fame. That's
It
really
seems
what it
like it at
is,
this
right?
point.
That's
Yeah.
really what it is. So I have no issue with it. My question is, I don't know why it took LL it took them so long to put LL in there. Like like you look at the dude's catalog. LL has a serious catalog.
He does, for
And he
sure.
did it for 4 decades.
Yeah, most
Like
definitely.
you 4 or 5
Jay-Z too, bro.
like
I mean,
like he's doing longer than Jay-Z though. He's been out since the 80s.
yeah,
Or you know what I
definitely.
mean? Like and putting in work.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to like rapping and everything, it's just being again, I think a lot of people sleep on LL. But but shout out to him. I mean, he deserves it. Jay-Z deserves it. I thought it
Yeah.
was. I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit surprised that that Jay-Z got it. I think because I don't know if he's really done with his career. I thought it'd be a
No.
little bit later that he would have gotten in. But shout out to him. I mean, it's not like he don't deserve it.
No, it's again, but I just feel like then let's change it to the Music Hall of Fame because I get what you're saying about the blues, but I feel like the blues is a direct like rock and roll. They're like whatever you want to call rock and roll. There's a bunch of subgenres, but like excuse me, that's a direct influence from blues music. You know what I mean? So it's like rap is its whole other genre. So change the
What's the
name or something,
difference?
bro. Like just change the name. That's all.
So what's the difference between outside of just like what's the main difference between rap and rock?
between rap and rock.
Yeah, what's the difference?
Okay, okay. Just look at live sets, bro. I mean, I've seen a few rappers that have it, and I respect it. But for the most part, they're not producing live music. They've got music coming over speakers, and they're rapping over it. Whereas rock is really predicated on actual instruments, like on stage. You know, like drums, guitar, a bass, keyboard, stuff like that. Like it's, I think rap is a lot more, and it's its own thing. I'm in no way shit. I'm a huge rap fan, but it's a lot more production and vocals. You know, and it's just a huge focus on the lyrics, as most songs or music should be. But it's, you know, it's poetry. And then rock and these other music genres, it's more focused on the instruments. So that's kind of where I put rap, is like a different category. And that's what I'm saying. Like if we're gonna do it like this, we might as well just call it the Music Hall of Fame. Like because these people that we're nominating are in rock and roll. Like the rock and roll is its own genre. So I don't know. That's just kind of where I look at it.
That's fair.
No, you don't agree?
I don't.
Really?
It's all the same, right? Like granted, it may be a more synthesized production when it comes to rap, but it's still those same instruments that they're just pulling
Yeah.
from certain things for the music, right? It's just synthesized, so it's still the same thing. And but you look at how many times have you seen where you have rappers that use rock type of sounds and
Mm-hmm.
instruments in
Definitely.
their songs. I mean, you look at Run DMC, who really kind of introduced all of that.
I think it's gotten away from that, to be honest with you. I do think like early rap for sure, they were very into guitar instrumentals, you know, and stuff like that, or heavy, you know, certain stuff like that. It has kind of shifted from that. But you're right. And then there's some dudes like I hear Eminem, like he'll do like like it'll be like an Aerosmith song that he's rapping over or something like that. Or same with Jay-Z, you know. It's you know,
I mean,
so
he had the whole thing with Linkin Park.
yeah, exactly. So
So I think it just
most
all kind of
definitely.
meshes, but I don't really don't view the hall like that. I literally just view it as a music hall of fame. That's
Yeah, that's fair. I guess that is how we should view it because I mean, you're
when you
right.
look at the
It's
initial individuals that were in there. You think about like Chuck Berry and James Brown. Like James Brown was rock and roll. Come on,
no,
bro.
definitely not. That's a
He's a
good point.
blues. You know what I mean?
It's a
So
good
like,
point.
and these were the initial
Soul.
people that were in that got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and you know what I mean. So I think we just have
Yeah.
to.
No, I agree with you there, man. It's interesting. I I'm a huge blues fan too, so it's just very interesting. Like it's a good point. Like we kind of just associate them with each other because we feel like rock evolved from the blues, but like they are different genres. So again, like it should
Yeah.
just be like all around music. Man, I love like Stevie Ray Vaughan and BB King and damn, that's my shit.
Okay. Okay. Little historian. I see you
Yeah,
out
man.
here,
I love my music, man, for sure. I miss concerts, bro, so
bro.
bad. Like
Dog.
it's starting to really take a toll on me. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
Listen, like that whole just the whole vibe, especially when it's just some good music. Like I
mm,
miss that whole. Where's the last concert you went to?
oh, it's been over a year probably. I saw Bob Seger with my mom in Chicago at what are you laughing at? You like Bob Seger? What?
Bob Seger with my mom. Like,
I saw him twice actually last year because it was his last year touring and now he's
yeah,
done.
I
But
think matter of fact, I think my mom went to that concert with her friend.
I'm an old soul, Mo. I
Ain't
like
nothing wrong with it. I just wasn't ready for you to say I went to Bob Seger with my mom.
I did at what is the Chicago Stadium? American Airlines? Is that what it is? I went there.
No, American Airlines is Dallas. I forget what it is.
What the hell is it? I
I'm
don't know
not
what it
sure.
is. But
I know what
yeah,
you're
I
talking
went
about.
there and I saw him earlier that year too, but I think that was the last one. It's I think that was in October or November. That's
Okay.
crazy, man. Like it's so crazy just the stuff we took for granted that's now gone and it's like, bro, I miss that so much. Like I miss live music. What was the last concert you've been to?
Uh, what's the name is the United Center. Um,
Yeah.
the last concert I went to was I went to go see Daniel Caesar.
I'm not familiar.
down at the I think it was a Fillmore.
Okay. Is he
Pretty dope
what
concert.
genre?
Daniel Caesar.
Yeah, I'm not
R&B.
familiar. Okay. You're a big R&B guy. I remember talking
I
to you at
am a
Champs.
big
You
R&B
really
guy.
like he was on that J. Cole song. What's the dude's name? Miguel. He's good. I remember you
That's
said you
my
seen him.
guy.
I
That's
like
my guy. I
Miguel.
went to a couple of his concerts. Her, Rick Ross,
Hell yeah.
DJ Cole. I wanted to go to the Russ concert. I don't know if you know who Russ is.
I like Russ. He's
but,
pretty good.
He's gonna have a concert at the L Club downtown.
Okay.
And then
You're a
COVID
Russ
came
fan,
around.
huh?
And was like, I do like Russ. Russ is pretty dope.
He's got a good flow, man. He's got like his own vibe. Like I do like him a lot.
Just like super chill, like music. So that's typically my vibe. But yeah, and then COVID was like, nah, y'all on punishment. So
right. I hope it can continue at some point, man. Do you
I need
think
it in my life?
I mean, I don't know like how much live music you've seen, but do you see a big difference? Because I really do between when I see like someone rapping and a genre where they have a whole band. Like I just, as far as live music goes, it's very equal with me when I'm just listening on my headphones. They're just, I appreciate them differently, but they're, it's equal. I don't put one above the other. But when I'm listening to live music, I do have like a newfound appreciation when I'm watching music be created through instruments rather than someone just rapping into a microphone. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but like I have noticed that over the last couple of years that I've been going to concerts. I was like, I really like just seeing the instruments be played and like them really create this music rather than just, the music being played over the speakers and they're just talking over it. That's kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the live sets. Like that's when I went and seen Rick Ross when he had a live band with him when it was at the Masonic Temple, and I loved that. Like that was dope as hell. But I think with rapping, honestly, I could, listen to somebody just go over an instrumental and like, especially with rap, like the rapping itself is an instrument, you know what I mean? And just how rhythmic they can be. So, and I really appreciate that. But no, I agree with you. Like listening to live music and like that actual live instruments, it does set a different tone.
It really does. Yeah, man. God damn. I hate talking about this stuff. I get so depressed.
Right, depressed. You go into the fucking depression. Like, can I be off timeout COVID, please?
Right? Seriously, man. Like, it sounds bad, but like, if we were allowed tomorrow to go to a packed stadium without masks, like I'd just do it. I'd be like, I'm going to see whoever, bro. Like I miss it so much.
Seeger.
I love Bob Seger, bro. From Michigan. Clearly. From Michigan.
Yeah, hold it down.
Michigan's got some good artists, man. Like just historically, we've really, we got the musicians over here.
Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, Motown. I mean, we have Motown.
Come on now.
No one's taking that from us
at all,
for sure. Aretha Franklin just died, man. That's crazy. A couple years ago, I think 2019.
2 years ago. Yep, 2 years ago.
And then
it was literally like 2 years ago, like when it happened. So.
Oh yeah. And then the one that really broke my heart right when COVID hit. Bill Withers, man. Like I could have cried when I heard Bill Withers died. Like I'm so mad I didn't get to see him.
Yeah, it's horrible. And he has some of the most iconic.
Yeah.
Like just the two of us. Like
is Lean on Me.
Iconic stuff.
Ain't No Sunshine. Yeah.
Come on, like just iconic songs, bro.
Yeah. Man,
and they're like iconic, like feel good songs, right?
Completely. Like they just like you have to sing. You have to sing along. Like it's
you like it makes you, and it just makes you want to just be in a community and just be around people and like just go and hug somebody. Like, yeah,
music does something, man. It's insane. It's crazy. Someone asked me one time, would I rather be blind or deaf? And I said blind simply because of music. I was like, I couldn't not listen to music, bro. Like that's just such a huge integral part of my life. Like I couldn't not have that. Like
yeah. I would agree with you. I think I would prefer to be blind rather than not to
communicate
be able to
with
hear.
People. It would be scary as shit though, not be able to see.
Can I bring up a story from Champs?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, do you remember when we were working and it was like a family came in and this kid walks by, he had his dreads, and you're like, we greet him like, hey, what's going on? And the kid didn't respond.
No, I don't remember this guy. You have such a good memory, Mo.
And then You were like, I fucking hate that shit when people don't say anything when I say it. We're like, what's up to him? I'm like, well, go say what up to him or whatever. So you like kind of walk around behind you, like, how y'all, everything okay? How y'all doing? And he didn't respond again.
Ooh.
And you're like, Mo, this is pissing me off. And then you found out that he was deaf. Do you remember?
I do remember that, bro. And that's so funny because
I feel so fucking terrible.
Because that is like such a pet peeve of mine too, bro. Like I was about to go on a tangent until you just told me that. God.
Dog. You was so bad. You was like, motherfucker, I hate this. I'm like, and then you come over, you like, I feel so bad. He's
dude,
no.
You got a good memory. Like until you hit with the deaf part, I didn't remember any of that. And then I was like, yup.
When you came and told me that, I was like, oh shit.
Dude. Oh, man.
Listen, I told you I got champ stories for days, bro.
Yeah, you're right, bro. That's awesome. Keep throwing them out.
That
shit, I was about to go off before you said the deaf part.
You were pissed, like you were ready. No, you was pissed.
That is so disrespectful. Not in his case, but in regularly, like, did your mom not teach you to fucking greet someone? Like when someone says what, like, I don't get that shit. I don't play that at all. Like that really bothers me.
No, I don't blame you.
God bless that young man. Holy shit. Oh, Jesus.
Too funny.
That is, man. You got a good memory.
Saved in the clip. That was funny.
Most definitely. All right, let's talk about some NBA, man. We kind of
went on a tangent there. Just a little. It's good though.
God, a lot of stuff's going on though. I mean, D Rose just went back to the Knicks.
Shout out to D Rose.
Yeah. He seems like he's balling, man. I saw a couple clips of him in that first game.
He's second right now in the league as far as bench scoring, right?
Really?
Averaging like 14 and 5. So I think it'll help because Austin Rivers is struggling this year.
Is he on the Knicks?
Yeah, okay. He's on the Knicks. So he's struggling this year. And Alfred Payton, he's more of like a bottom tier point guard. Yeah, so I think Derrick Rose kind of helps with the bench. And then I think it'll help. You compare him with Emmanuel Quigley.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll help them. We'll see what happens. I mean, they still just need some pieces. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs or not, but it'll help them.
Do you think Julius Randle makes the All-Star team?
No.
I
mean, maybe he may get voted in by the coaches. Let me not say that. I just don't think there. You think about all the forwards that are in front of him, right? So we already know like KD and Giannis are probably Giannis and Joel are probably going to be the starting backcourt, right?
Yeah.
So then still got to think you got Sabonis.
Sabonis is a dog, bro. I love Sabonis, man.
Right, but you got Sabonis. You got Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
You probably.
I mean, that alone, shit. Like, I mean, like what? That's
that part, right? Let me think. Who else is like?
Yeah, I don't know. As far as I would Tobias Harris.
You got maybe like Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gordon Hayward has been playing pretty nice. John Collins. You got Bam. I'm forgetting Bam Adebayo.
Mm-hmm.
Like Andre Drummond. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure Gordon Hayward's quietly averaging like 22 right now. He's playing pretty well. I mean, granted the team's not good, but
they're like in the 8th spot right now. I think in the East.
What's up with LaMelo, man? He's been balling since he's been
spot. Dude has been going crazy.
Since he's a starter, he's been playing very well, man. Like
averaging like 22 a game or something like that since he became a starter. Like I think he's just running away with the Rookie of the Year. At this point, he's running away with it.
Yeah.
And the team is competitive. So I think he's putting people on notice. Like, you know, I would everybody you guys were waiting for me to arrive. I know you saw my other two brothers, but I'm that dude.
Exactly, man. He's a volume. I don't even want to say shooter, but as far like he needs touches. He's a volume.
He just needs to feel the ball in his hand.
Yeah, exactly.
He needs a ball, and it's not like he needs to shoot the ball. Like he
makes stuff happen.
That matchup with him and Bridges, like that connection, that's a really nice connection.
It is. Is Scary Terry still there? What happened with Rozier?
Yeah. Rozier is still there. I mean, he's all right. I think he's averaging he's averaging 20 a game. So he's doing this thing. Honestly, if I was the Hornets, I may kind of just keep LaMelo there and bring Devontae Graham off the bench.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, they're playing better. I don't know if they had a game last night, but they were like since he's been a starter, like 4-2. So I mean, they're playing better. It's
Yeah, they got a game tonight. They lost yesterday to the Grizzlies.
okay.
Or no, not yesterday. On Wednesday, they lost to the Grizzlies,
Okay.
but they got a game tonight. They're up right now on the Timberwolves.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, he's a good shooter, man. He's
A
I
lot
mean,
better than his
already.
brother.
I was about to say offensively. I'm already giving him the nod over Lonzo. The only reason, and I'm not even a huge Lonzo fan, but Lonzo is a good on-ball defender, bro. He's a good
He's,
distributor, and he's a good on-ball defender. Like,
I would give Lonzo, as far as on ball from a point guard standpoint, probably top 5 easily from
okay,
a defensive
I wouldn't
standpoint. Like
argue with you, man.
Lonzo, like this with his length and his
Yep,
hands,
exactly.
he's really good. Like
He is, man.
he's
Good
really good.
distributor too. So regardless if he ever figures out the scoring thing, Lonzo will have a job in the NBA for at least 15 years. Like the dude is just, he's got that D and he can distribute. So like I
Yeah,
don't like, he'll be here for a while. It just depended on the scoring, and I've heard other analysts say too, just the timidness, bro. Like you need to, and he's been doing better the last week or so, but like bro, like you got to get that I don't give a fuck mentality and try to score the ball. Like he's very, it seems
the
like
thing
too
is,
willing to pass.
his younger brother had that mentality that you're talking about. His little brother has it, and I think that's what it is. It's just that alpha confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
I'll step on the court. You like, excuse me for what I'm about to say, but I'm that nigga.
Yeah.
Like he steps on the court,
Yep.
right? And he like LaMelo steps on the court and is like, I'm that dude. Like you not gonna be able to stop me, bro. And like
Yep.
he just has supreme confidence in himself. Zoe doesn't have that. Zoe is such a like just a relaxed individual and kind of like a I want to call him timid, but he's so much more reserved to where he defers. And in certain situations, especially as you just can't continue to do that. If Zoe can get to the point to where he can get you about maybe like 15-8,
Yeah.
I would consider that a success.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And I think the sky's the limit for him defensively. He could win, all pro, defensive teams for days if he keeps at the rate that he's going. It just depends on that mentality and him getting that scoring up a little bit. That shooting needs to be a little better because he has no problem driving, but it would really help open the lane if they were threatened by an outside shot.
They had to commit to his putting a contest in his 3-point. Yep.
Yeah, man. I don't know what happened with the middle ball. I never thought he was that good, but I don't know if he's gonna get another shot.
So he signed with the Pistons for a bit.
It was like a non-guaranteed.
Yeah. So I think he's in the G League right now.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question randomly. So there's 3 sets of brothers that are in the NBA between the Antetokounmpos, the Holidays, and the Balls. Which one would you take?
I mean, like the Antetokounmpos just have that top heavy. Like obviously, Giannis is the best out of all of them, but the Holidays, man, that's not a bad little squad right there.
Bro,
are 2 of them on the same team?
Yeah.
Aaron
and Justin are on the same team.
Yeah,
and then you got Drew Holiday that's on the Bucks. Like, I think the people ought to sleep on the 3 of them. Like, them dudes are nice.
Don't forget the Lopez brothers. Bro, Robin Lopez is the biggest scrub.
He's a clown. He's a clown, bro.
Cut your hair, bro. Cut your hair. You heard it here. Robin Lopez. I don't know what you got that Anderson Varejao flop going on when you're running. Like, get it off. Shave it, bro. Like, I hate it. I hate it. Brooke Lopez is nice, though.
Yeah, Brooke has always been nice. I mean, he's an all-star at one point, so
yeah,
Brooke's always been nice.
Is he still on the Bucks?
Yeah, he's still on the Bucks.
Are they both on the Bucks?
No, they were last year, but okay. Robin's in Atlanta. Nope. He's in Washington. He's
what about the Morris twins? They are like the same human being. I swear to God. Like
literally.
They have the same tattoos. Like it's weird. They play exactly the same. Like
yeah, they do. I mean, they're nice.
They are. They're like good nice. 3-and-D guys. That's what I consider them. High energy defense.
They're really nice.
Hit some threes. Yeah,
they're nice.
I like them.
They're nice. And then then the Currys.
Okay, yeah, you were talking about triplets, but the Currys are the best like duo as far as brothers.
Yeah, they had to do duos. They definitely dominate. Let's just talk about Steph, shall we? And just talk about the run that the dude is on. He dropped 40 last night. hit 10 threes.
I mean, if they could get their record up to top 5 in the conference, I'd give him the MVP. Like, I mean, he needs to continue it, but I love it. This is exactly what I said before the season started. Like, bro, Clay's hurt. This is your time to be that dog. Like, this is my team. I'm gonna drag
Just
you guys. Like, get on my back.
imagine if
Yeah,
they had Clay right now.
right. I love Clay too.
Dog, Clay is my dude. Like, just imagine if they had Clay right now. That
Mm.
come on. That team would be, and they're winning, and they don't even have a player on the roster right now that is active, that is over 6'8".
Really, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's
Yes.
insane. Yeah, it's too bad, man. I mean, I wasn't a Golden State fan back when they were competing with LeBron, but like, I I just try to give respect where it's due, and I respect the hell out of Curry, greatest shooter of all time. Clay is literally right there for greatest shooter of all time. And I just love their ball movement, man. Like they just play good
It's
5-man
insane.
basketball. It's great to watch.
Yeah, they're. I mean, it's just you see what Curry's doing, and they're having a decent like they're 200 they're 2 games above 500, right? So they're doing well for what they have. But
Mhm.
if you know that Clay kind of just elevates that to another level, like you're like, dang, if it just didn't happen. But can I just say how exciting the league is right now? The fact that just KD and Steph are back, though, like just how
I agree.
exciting, like how much we have to talk about. It's crazy.
I agree, man. Joel Embiid's on a tear too, bro. Like
Oh,
I've been saying LeBron, but I would not like if the season were to stop today, I would not at all be surprised or upset if Embiid won the MVP. I think he had
he's top
35
three in the
last night.
MVP race right now. He's top three in the MVP race right now.
Absolutely killing it, man. You just watch him and he's so fluid. You know, it's like for that
Yeah,
size to see you one dribble left hand, turn around, little shimmy, elbow fade away, you know, off glass. Like it's like, oh, that was so smooth, bro. Like, how are you that big and have that much touch? Like that's all. It literally reminds me of Hakeem. Like just that, like foreign, like just smooth, amazing footwork, block shots. I love him,
yeah.
man.
Joel's been a dog so far this season. If he
Yeah,
can just stay consistent with it
and stay healthy.
and stay healthy, which I think they'll do a good job of it. They've been giving him his rest and everything. So, but he's been beasting, dog.
But you know, we were talking about the Currys, and you know, we just talked about Steph. Like, I'm just gonna say, Seth changed life in Philly, bro. Like, I really think he's the X factor of what that team has
Yeah, he
become.
is.
The
And I
dude
know we were
is.
talking.
Go ahead. It's
He
just
he it well, he's completely opened things up so that way
exactly.
Joel can do what he does, right? And not and not Steph has done a lot of that, but we got to also add in Danny Green too, like because without having and I know we kind of trashed Danny Green last episode, but like you have to respect Danny Green shooting,
Yeah, most definitely. Like, he's
right?
gonna
Because
hit
if
an
you leave
open
him
one.
open, he's going to hit the shot.
Mhm.
So you have to respect Danny Green shooting, and you damn sure have to respect Seth and his shooting. So
Yeah,
like now you have to stretch the floor, and you can't help off of those two. So you got to, and you really don't want to help off of Tobias. So your help comes from Ben Simmons, but he's like driving. So if he drives and just it's there the way that Doc has them playing, it reminds you kind of like that old Celtics team, to be honest, right? And like because you Ben Simmons is pretty much in the same role that Rondo was in.
yeah, just more athletic and bigger, and then you know you
Yeah,
got your shooters
so
on the outside and your star big man. You're right. That's a good comparison, man. Like it's very similar formula. I don't know, bro. I actually heard today, speaking of them, like you were talking about last week, KG's got that book coming out, and he just made some comments talking about the different eras and how he thinks a lot of players back then would have trouble playing in the league today. And then I was listening to a lot of radio stations today and podcasts, whatnot, and a lot of them getting really upset and, you know, saying, you know, they would work both ways. Like current players would have trouble in, you know, the old era, which I agree. But I do think there's something to be said for the defense today, man, is very. I know, like old heads really like to be like, "Whoa, back in my day, like you know, they'd get killed." Like you're right, but also like it's almost like they're more skilled now defensively because you can't hand check, bro. Like you can't use your hands or parts of your body to slow them down. You have to just stay in front of them and defend them without contact. And because of that, I feel like players are forced, whether you think it's the best defensive error or not, it's the hardest as far as on the defensive end to play defense is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
it's this era of basketball. It's much harder on defense, on the defensive players, like you said, because there is no hand checking. You can't, like, I was even taught when I was growing up, when, like, especially like when in high school and stuff like that, in college, like, you have somebody coming through the paint, you you check them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you catch them with a forearm and you stop their movement or whatever to kind of break it. You can't do that
Mm-hmm.
anymore. Like, if you check somebody coming through the paint, they call that, because it's a restriction of their freedom of movement.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't even do those things right now. So just even those small things that I was taught, when I was coming up and playing basketball, that's something that's not even on the ball. I'm talking about coming off, just somebody off the ball that's want to cut through the lane. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, exactly, man. It's crazy. Have you hooped much? I mean, I know it's COVID, but do you still get runs in? Or before COVID, were you?
So I was hooping outside, which was a really bad idea because I got old people knees. So like, I'll go outside and I play. It was funny. So I went and I played at first they were running, and like I was just over to the side, just kind of shooting, not really doing much. And they were like, "You want to play?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I don't mind." And like, it was me and this other tall guy or whatever, and I'm just passing the ball. I'm like, I'm not about to really run with these. Like, it was only half court. I think we're doing 4-on-4. So I'm like, I'm not really about to run with these kids, right? And so I'm just literally dishing the ball off to this kid, letting them get layups and everything, just passing the ball on the right thing. But then, like, the other team starting to come back, and I'm like, bro, what are we doing? Like, we should be killing them. They short. Like, I was literally letting this dude that was like 5'5" guard me. Like,
Uh-huh.
because I just wasn't trying. I was just literally
Yeah.
just trying to dish off the ball. But then I was like, what? Nah, bro, we're not about to let them come back. And so I went in the post and I went to work. Like, I went to work on them dudes. Like, so the first dude, I get the ball and I just leaned up against him. And I'm like, I automatically, like, this is about to be, like Shaq says, barbecue chicken. I went
Uh-huh.
to work on that dude. Sent off of him, layup. So then the other dude the guy was a little bit better, but he was short too, a little bit stronger. He's like, no, we got to switch. Bring the ball back over here.
Yeah.
Went to work on him too. Like, come on. Like, so I just rattled off a quick, like, 5-6 points, and then then they started trying to double team me, so I just passed the ball and we won the game. But like, so I love going out there. It's fun. But
Yeah.
like, I don't know if I can be outside, keep going outside. I gotta be indoors on like a hardwood, because
I
that
hate playing
cement,
outdoor
bro.
ball, bro. I hate
Oh
those
my
fucking
god.
rims. I can't shoot on them. Like they just piss me the fuck off. Like
My knee afterwards, I was like, that was a bad fucking idea.
So there's a huge difference on your knees as far as like playing on the blacktop as the
It's a
court like hardwood.
huge, because concrete doesn't have any give
Okay,
to it,
I
right?
gotcha.
And hardwood, it does. It had there's some give in it, in the floor and everything. So it's much easier on your knees.
Was that your game? You a post player?
So I grew up as a post player. I was so tall.
Mm-hmm.
And then got to high school and they were like, oh no, actually you're like a two guard. And I was like, okay, cool, don't worry about it. So I switched up. I switched. The thing was, my dad, when I was younger, he always just told me, like, you not gonna be a post player. You're probably gonna be about, like 6', 6'2". So like, you need to learn how to handle the ball. So I always used to have my dribbling drills him. So
Mm-hmm.
kept it going, had a decent shot. So
And then in Romulus, you played at Romulus, right?
I went to Wayne. I went to
Wayne,
Wayne
and then you
Memorial.
went on to Albion for college ball,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
you played a guard at Albion.
Mm-hmm. Well, that between that and in a forward position.
Okay,
I was
gotcha.
I was just I mean, because it's D3, so it's not
Yeah,
like you got like really tall dudes out there.
I
You can
gotcha.
dudes like 6'8".
I gotcha.
So
Man, I haven't played in a minute. I wonder if I could guard you.
mm,
How tall are you, Mo? I don't
I'm
even
six
remember.
two.
Okay, you're taller than me, probably. I think I'm above 6 foot. I don't know where I'm at these days, but bro, I
Sound like
haven't.
some old people shit. I don't know how tall I am these days. I
Yeah,
may have
seriously.
shrunk.
Bro, I haven't fucking. I used to have a decent shot and like some handles, but God, I think if I played today, it would just be playing D, distributing. I'm that guy. I'm the team player. But Someday, Mo. I want you to back me in the post, and I want to see what happens.
I don't know how to put this old man weight on you, Ethan. Come on now. I have to put this 215 on you real quick.
Man. All right. I did ask you before, or like we talked about it before, and I wanted to talk to you about this because I was just kind of doing the math. I'm actually gonna pull it up real quick.
Okay.
What is your take? Do you think LeBron could break Kareem's all-time scoring record? Like, do you think it's possible?
Do I think it's possible if somebody's going to do it, it'll be LeBron?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he can continue the scoring average that he would need to do it. That would, because Kareem played into his 40s, or until he was 40, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So
Kareem's at 38,300 and LeBron's at 34,900. So just for reference.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what he would have to average around like 21?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So it's 71 games this season, right?
72.
72.
I think it was.
They're a little under 30.
Yeah.
They're a little under 30 in. Let's say LeBron, so he's at 34,905. Let's say he plays, what do we think? Another 30 games this season, right? And give him, I'm just trying to be as conservative as possible. If he plays another 30 games,
give him what he's been averaging, about 25.
Okay, so give him 25. That's another 750 points. Add it to 34,905. He ends the season with 35,655. Then I look at it as like, if he plays 2 more seasons, so let me write that down, 35,655. If he plays 2 more seasons, and assuming that it goes back to 82 games, I mean, what I would say he'd play 60 games. I don't know, 65 maybe. If he played 65 between the 2 seasons, that's 130 games. And if he averaged 22 points, that's another 2,000. So that would put him at 38. That would break the record right there. So, I mean, it's possible, but it depends on his health and if he's going to continue scoring the ball at a plus, 20 plus points per game average. So,
yeah,
how big would that be? Would that be not that big of a deal, or would that be like, holy shit? Like,
I mean, it's a lot of fucking points, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of buckets. That's a lot of buckets, bro.
Almost quietly too, like no scoring titles. I think he had one scoring title actually, but
I think he had a scoring title too when he was in
it was
or something like that. Yeah, but and the thing is we talk about is the fact that we know that the scoring is not the best part of his game.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and you don't expect that to happen, but if there's ever a person to do it, I think it's going to be LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, KD has like the skill, but it's just about the injuries, the consistency, and like the amount of games he's playing. I feel like I don't know where he's at on the list, but I feel like the injuries have kind of derailed that a little bit.
Yeah, he's missed 2 seasons.
Yep. So he missed one in OKC. I forgot about that.
Yeah, with the foot. So yeah, I don't think KD is going to be able to get to beat LeBron.
Yeah, he's been Iron Man, man. Other than the split groin his first season with the Lakers, like the dude is consistently just showing up and played. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
I'm kind of back on the LeBron train, to be honest with you. We're going to talk to Ricari at some point. Ben Fresh, shout out to the Hot Takes podcast.
Hot Takes.
Him and
what up, Kari?
Yeah, I've been on there a couple times. We're going to have to do a mix up with them at some point. Either have them on here or have us go over there. But me and him have went back and forth on that. And I've told him when the summer of 2018, when LeBron is last year in Cleveland and he signed with the Lakers, I was furious. And I told Ricari, I'm not rocking with LeBron anymore. It isn't like I'm not taking away his career legacy or nothing. It felt to me like a Hollywood move and for his personal life. And it didn't feel like, he was still chasing the rings. That's the way I looked at it. But he simply just fucking proved me wrong. That's just like, he just won a championship. So it's like, what can I really say?
Right. Like I wasn't. So the thing was, even when he went to LA, right, and with the team that they had, I knew that that wasn't going to stay that way.
No.
You
And
know
they
what I
were still a
mean?
fourth seed before he got injured. They were killing Golden State that Christmas Day when he got hurt. Like it was like
Yeah.
they looked all right.
So yeah. So it'll he- I knew that wasn't going to say that they're going to find a way to make some moves
Mhm.
to, get them back to being, the old Lakers and get LeBron back into the conversation of a championship. So I knew it wasn't going to stay that way.
Yeah. It's
You can't wait because Lakers they weren't going to waste the years that they got with LeBron just to be like, oh well, we made it to the Western Conference Finals. Like, no, bro,
yeah, no, exactly.
that's not going to work for them.
You're definitely right.
Not going to work for Brian.
Yeah, I was mad cuz I wanted him to go to Philly, to be honest with you. I thought him with Ben Simmons and Embiid would have been the thing. That's where I wanted him to go. And I was so mad. I was like, "What are you doing, bro?" But it worked out for him, man. That's like
Yeah,
you know, I have to say
yeah,
that as far it reminds me they're very reminiscent of each other, him and Brady, that like they've proven that it's like Brady and me and my work friend were talking about this today. He's proven that he is the Patriot way, bro. Like, and I'm not taking anything away from Bill Belichick, but just the fact that he did this, bro. And again, I'm a Brady critic, but he just moved to the losingest franchise in sports history and, installed the new culture. Granted, the team was talented as shit, but I can't take it from him. Like the facts are there. You just brought him to a Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. And LeBron's the same way, man. Like back to Cleveland, also talented, but never won a championship in 50 something years. Within 2 years, they were champions. LA, the same thing. Hadn't made the playoffs in 10 years, I think. Championship in 2 years. Like that's crazy, bro. That's absolutely nuts. They're just winners.
yeah. And he said they kind of figure it out what works and what they need, and they make it happen.
Yeah,
Now, I will say, um, I it would have been interesting had the season finished per a regular season and what would have happened in the playoffs. Because I think things may have went differently, and we would have got the matchup that we wanted with maybe the Clippers.
I agree.
And that matchup would have been interesting. But I don't doubt that. I don't know. I don't doubt that maybe LA probably would have still won the championship, but I think they would have been pushed much harder.
I agree. The thing is like I can't take it from them or give them an asterisk because I felt like when the season stopped due to COVID, the Lakers, I was about to say Cleveland, the Lakers were the best team in the league. Like they were surging. They had just beat the Clippers. They just beat the Bucks and LeBron. It looked like they found their groove. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, when COVID happened, I was kind of like, this sucks for the Lakers, bro. Like I thought it was like a disadvantage to them. I was like, they are rolling right now. Like right before, what was it, 10, 15 games before the playoffs was going to start? I was like, they're really hitting their stride right now and they're beating the top teams in the league. And if anything, this isn't good for them. And they still ended up winning. I don't know. I think I may have said there was an asterisk if it would have been like either not one of the LA teams out west or the Bucks coming out of the East. Like if it was just two random teams, I would have been like, this is weird. I don't think this would have happened under regular circumstances. But because one of those three won, like I can't really
Yeah.
complain. Like it just
No. I mean, because you gotta think like the stuff that they went through, and like after hearing kind of like Paul George and some of these other players, and kind of hearing some of the struggles they had just being in the
yeah.
bubble, I would put an asterisk on it.
No. It is
Mm.
what it is, man. They were all playing under the same conditions. So
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know, man. I don't really, as far as boxing, man, there's not really much going on. The only thing I did want to really touch on was, did you see Deontay Wilder's trainer went on that podcast and what he had to say about Deontay?
Mm-mm.
So
No.
Mark Breland was, because Deontay fired him after Fury knocked him out, but he was his co-trainer. And Mark Breland, for those that don't know, is a very respected boxer. The dude was on the 84 Olympics team, won gold, and the 84 Olympics USA team was considered one of the greatest ever. Pernell Whitaker was on this team. They had maybe, I don't know who else. It may have been Holyfield, but there was a bunch of good fighters on this Olympic team. He's a very accomplished amateur boxer and knows what he's talking about. After Fury beat him, Wilder went, on that rant of like, my costume was too big. He accused Breland of spiking his water. He said Fury had egg weights in his gloves, just saying all this crazy shit. And he ended up firing Breland. So Breland went on a podcast either this week or last week and basically said, yeah, that's all absolutely crazy. Like the fact that he would accuse me of that. The dude's he went as far as to say he's like Deontay's career's over, so it really doesn't matter anymore. And I was like,
Ooh,
whoa,
ooh.
yeah, man. So then he just brought up what everyone else said, like he just relies on his power. His motto is you have to be perfect, otherwise I knock you out. Um, but he's not a good fighter. And then Deontay went back at him and was like, how dare you? I did so much for you, all this shit. But I don't know, man. It's just Deontay is really making me nervous with all this shit, man. It's like, it seems like he's losing it a little bit. Like, you need to ground yourself, bro, and really just accept the reality that you got spanked by the better fighter that night, man. Like, I'm not one for excuses, even if they're valid, bro. Like, and some of those were absolutely ridiculous. Like, they were just ridiculous
Do you
claims.
think it's that sense of like he lost that sense of invincibility,
I
like because
do.
he felt like he got exposed, and now it's like it wasn't me,
Yeah,
it was him or this like he doesn't
right.
want to feel like he lost that sense of invincibility.
Yeah, he very much had
Um,
that like Tyson Foreman like fear, like
yeah,
you're getting knocked out by me. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right.
yeah. That, that's what I just kind of listening to you. That's what it kind of just reminds me. It's just like he's just feeling like you said, once Buster Douglas kind of knocked out Tyson, it was like that sense of invincibility kind of just left a
Yeah,
little bit. Even though Tyson kind of recovered some until he kind of went up against Holyfield, but
it was
that's
just
what
the
it sounds like it's
anniversary of
going
that a
into.
day or two ago, actually, of Douglas
Yeah,
knocking out
yep,
Tyson
yep.
that fateful night in Tokyo, Japan. 42-1 underdog, man. I gotta give Buster, excuse me, credit for that. That's
Yeah,
absolutely insane. And he
yeah,
honestly, he took away that aura of invincibility, like you said. And even though afterwards Buster Douglas's career kind of went to shambles, the very next fight, Holyfield knocked him out, and it was kind of
yeah.
just over for him after that. But he not only took away the aura of invincibility from Mike, he laid the blueprint on how to beat Mike with a good jab and keeping him at bay, not letting him get inside your body and just really putting on supreme boxing skills. And he'll forever be a legend just for being able to do it for that one night, man. That was insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild.
Yeah, it's yeah, I think that's what's kind of going on with Wilder right now. And just he's I think he just kind of feels naked. He feels exposed, you know what I mean? Just because of it wasn't the fact that he lost, it's just the way that he lost,
Yeah,
right? Like no
definitely.
one expected it to happen like that, for you to get knocked down a couple times, and they had to throw in the top. Like it's a lot. So
It is,
I
man.
think he just kind of feels like he feels exposed. So
I
yeah.
agree. It'll be interesting to see what's next, man. I hope like he's in the gym right now trying to figure it out. But if I'm him, I'm going back to the blueprints, man. Like much like, not to like jump to another sport, but like Kobe spending a summer with Hakeem, and working on his post game type thing. Like Deontay, like go to Floyd, go to someone and be like, hey, I need boxing help. You know what I mean? Like I've
I will
heard
go to
Floyd
Roy.
say, yeah, Roy too, man, any of them. But I've heard Floyd say in an interview, like, tell him to come to me and like we'll get work done. It's like you can't be too prideful to learn from these dudes, man. Like you're not a good boxer. You have some of the best power I've ever seen, but like you can't fight off your back foot, man. You have no counter punching ability. Like you have great timing with that one punch, but that's all you got. Like you got to figure it out. And it's kind of sad that he's mentally not there yet. It just seems like he's just like, I should have won. This is bullshit. Like
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah,
get
he's
over that,
falling
man.
into that. He's definitely falling into that.
Yeah. Sad, bro.
It really is. It really is. But hopefully, so let's say he does come back. Who who would you want to see him? Not necessarily like going up as a championship level, but just getting back into the ring and going up against who would you want to see him go up against?
There's a guy named Dillian White. I don't
Okay.
know if like many household names probably don't know him. He's from Europe. He's a good fighter. He's like a top 10 fighter for sure. He had a fight with Joshua. Joshua knocked him out, but it went into the deeper rounds. I think 7-10, somewhere in there. He's a good fighter. He's got power in both hands. Why he gave Wilder trouble, honestly. I just see it as like most of Wilder's other fights. Like for 6 rounds, it looks like this guy's kind of on Wilder, and then out of nowhere, Wilder's gonna throw that punch and knock him clean out. Like that's how I would see that going. Unless Wilder's psyche's, shook and it's going to be a different story. But that is how I'd see that going. But yeah, just something like that. Get him a fight that's not like a number one contender, but somewhere in like the top 10 that, you know, it's like going to be an impressive victory, but he's not ready for Fury again or for Joshua, man. Like it's,
No, I don't think he's. Um, I don't think he's ready for that yet. What about Ruiz?
I was like thinking that. I was like, are you going to say Ruiz? Because Ruiz is saying the same thing. He's in the gym and he's trying to like make a comeback right now, you know? I think Ruiz would get knocked out within 3 rounds, bro. I just don't have any faith in that dude. Great hand speed and great boxing ability, but like physically limited. And I don't know. It seems like since Joshua won those belts back, like he's been more hungry, but like he proved after he beat Joshua, like once he's at that level, he doesn't have the drive to pursue it anymore. Like I remember Joe Rogan saying on his podcast when Ruiz came up to the podcast, it was like within a month of him beating Joshua, and he pulled up in like a Rolls Royce, and he's like, "Bro, you're a fighter, man. Like that's such a bad sign, dude. That you're already like." And I get it, you came
You're
from
already
nothing,
flossing.
you know. But and I get it, like you came from nothing, and like no one expected you to win. But it's like fighting is a different thing, bro. Like you have to almost have that blue collar dog in you. You know what I mean? Like it's I don't know. So I don't expect Ruiz to make much noise in the future, but that would also be a good fight because, you know, he's, you know, everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
Wilder knocks him out. Maybe he gets back on track. I'm just excited for Fury Joshua whenever that is in 2021 because those to me are the two supreme heavyweights of the division. So
yeah.
yeah.